First preseason game Friday. What are you paying attention to, knowing that most of the starters, there will be some, but most of the starters are not going to play?
One thing that I'm really interested in is the offensive line depth, because there's been some questions about that in the past, and there's some questions about the age of the offensive line, specifically on the interior and on the right. Well, I guess everywhere but left tackle are guys that are getting a little bit older in an offensive line that struggled, and including the left tackle with Dewan Jones. I don't know if he'll get to play or what, if any of those starters will get to play, but Zach Zenner's not going to be there. He didn't make the trip down to Carolina. So you want to see a guy like Javion Cohen, Lorenzo Thompson, a UDFA from last year who played tackle, has been playing a lot of guard. I want to see if he can make that transition because he's got a lot of nice physical tools, and it really intrigued me last year, and they kind of moved him inside. Barton has been playing pretty good on the right side as the backup right tackle. So I just want to see, hey, is that offensive line depth? Is it there? Do you feel comfortable? Because I personally think with like Tevin Jenkins and Zach Zenner, who's now not there, I thought he was going to take a step forward, but he won't be here this week. I just want to see how's that offensive depth looking because I am concerned potentially about the health of the starting offensive line. And then I want to look at the corner depth. After losing Martin Emerson, there's some questions behind Greg Newsome, who's already been banged up a little bit. So those two positions I want to watch. Of course, Shadur Sanders is the number one thing. I want to see how he handles that. But to answer it on a different level, it's the offensive line depth and the corner depth that I'm most intrigued to see.
Is the offensive line, other than quarterback, you think the biggest thing that they got to get an answer to in the preseason?
Yeah, I do, because if they're going to win this year, if they're going to be competitive and try to push for a playoff spot, it's going to be based on really good hard-nosed defense and running the football. So that offensive line, they've got to feel good about it run blocking, but also pass protecting for whoever the quarterback is. I think it's kind of the linchpin because I think they have some guys that can play well at wide receiver, and Harold Fannin is kind of a pseudo wide receiver. Him and David Njoku supplement it. So I think they have some weapons, and I like Jerome Ford and I really like Dylan Sampson. But like if this offensive line struggles to the level that it was last year, it's going to be hard for them to overcome that. So those are the biggest questions I have because I think you've got enough in the wide receiver room. Some people want to rank it the worst in the NFL. I'm not necessarily sure it's there, but there is a lot of projection in that room, especially when you count, a rookie tight end supplementing that. But them getting back to the dominance at an offensive line will go a long way in them being able to score enough points to win.